Hari Om. Today's subject is yoga for backache. Backache is a very common problem. Most of the people suffer from backache, either neck ache or lower back, or even middle backache and all. In the beginning, it is very little problem. People hardly bother about that. They just take some rest and it feels okay and it's okay. But this problem can lead to a very serious stage also, where the surgery is needed. And even after the surgery, the condition doesn't become to a perfect normal. But yoga is a very good solution for all these problems. So let us discuss one by one. I want to divide this backache in 4 grades. And accordingly we have to treat. That is why these grades are very important for you also. Grade 1 is a very common problem, as I already explained to you. There is pain in the back, but nothing is wrong in the spine because the X-ray is normal. Whenever there is a backache, normally it is advised to take X-ray because X-ray indicates whether there is a wear and tear of the bones in the spine. But when the spine bones are perfect, all vertebrae are perfect, that is called normal X-ray. So X-ray is normal, but the pain is there. Now, mostly this pain is because of muscular strain. This is a muscular pain and this is beginning stage of backache. Second grade is there is a pain in the back, but with the initial stages of spondylitis. Spondylitis is a name given to the spine problem. That means some bones, vertebral bones, have been worn out to some extent at certain level. That is called initial stage of spondylitis. This is also not a serious problem, but when the bone is worn out, there is no recovery for that. So painkillers can work to overcome the pain, but no remedy, no permanent remedy. But typically some asanas are very effective for these grades 1 and 2 also. They can give you good relief. Even there is no recovery for the wear and tear of bones. But once, if you continue these asanas, they will give proper condition, no pains, no further wear and tear, and one can live very satisfactorily with these asanas and yogic practices. Grade 3 is somewhat serious level. There is a pain, no doubt, but there is a tingling sensation also. Maybe in the legs or hands. If the cervical problem is there, the tingling sensation in the hands. If lumbar problem is there, a tingling sensation there in the legs, and which goes on increasing. Initially the pain is there after work. That means after giving load to the neck or waist. And after some time it becomes a regular experience. 24 hours the pain is there. And painkiller gives relief just for a certain period. Painkiller does not cure the disease. It just controls the pain. So you don't feel the pain, but the problem remains as it is. So definitely painkiller is not a solution for all these things. And when there is a tingling sensation, it means there is a nerve compression. Because you know the nerves are passing through the vertebrae. When there is a wear and tear, the vertebrae come closer. So they compress the nerve. So it is called nerve compression. And this is definitely a serious problem. And still it can go to extreme end with grade 4. There is a pain in the neck or waist, tingling sensation in the legs or hands, with the numbness, because nerve compression is excessive. So it develops the numbness, maybe in the hands or legs. And it is more serious. Mostly the patients are advised surgery for this case. There is no other way than surgery. But if you can give proper treatment, which I am going to suggest also, we can avoid the surgery. Because we are regularly treating these patients in our Arogyadham Yoga and Naturopathy Center, Nasik. We are getting the patients who have been advised surgery. And some of the patients are already admitted in the hospital for surgery. But when they come to us, we definitely say they don't go for surgery. When we take them in our yoga center, give the treatment, becomes perfectly okay, and surgery is not required, provided they continue the yoga study. So good treatments are available. So let us see how we can treat this. You are a yoga teacher and you are going to be a therapist also. So you are going to treat the patients. So I want to give some hints. When a patient with backache comes to you, you have to go with proper results, proper X-rays and even MRIs, because particularly for grade 3 and 4, X-ray is not sufficient. It is called MRI, a deeper type of X-ray. And that MRI clear cut gives how much the compression is there, what is the condition of vertebra, what is the condition of nerves, and everything is quite clear with the MRI. So you must be able to read the reports of the MRI. Normally, grade 1 and 2, only X-ray is sufficient, but 3 and 4 MRI photograph is essential. So teaching the patients with backache grade 1 is very simple and easy for you, because there is no wear and tear in the bones. Everything is good. Only muscular strain is there, which can be definitely overcome without any complication. So these grade 1 patients are very simple to treat. You can easily treat them. I am going to give you the practices also which are suitable for that. For grade 2, some wear and tear of bones is there, no doubt. But it is also an initial stage, as I already explained to you. That means only X-ray is there. There is no MRI. Those patients are not advised to take MRI. So those are grade 2. So you can teach them, no doubt. But you have to take utmost care. You must take the feedback every now and then from the patient about your treatment and how they feel and all that, which I already explained in very earlier lectures. So if you follow all those conditions, all those rules, then you can treat them level grade 2 also. But there is definitely advice from me to you that do not teach yoga to the patients with grade 3 and 4. Because you don't have practical experience up till now. You're just a beginner in this field. So grade 1 and 2 is suitable for you, as I already explained. But please don't try to treat 3 and 4, because the condition can become worst. And for 3 and 4, some additional treatments are needed, which we are not going to teach in this class. We are treating them. We are treating grade 4 also. And they are cured also. But we have got other equipments, experience, knowledge, other things which we are administrating for those patients, and then they are cured. I will explain you what we are doing, but that is not possible for you. So for you, you can say that grade 1 and 2, yes, you can treat. Our regular training program, as usual, we will start with the preparatory practices. Then I will explain the selected useful asanas. cleansing practices, pranayamas, meditation, yoga nidra. Then I'll explain the contraindications also. That is also very important. And particularly these backache patients, contraindications are very, very important. If you teach some of the asana from the contraindication, the patient can become serious also. So note all these things. And of course the food recommendation, as I already explained. Preparatory practices are essential. They are not directly useful for the patient for his curing the disease. But patient is a new person. He is not practice any yoga. So he doesn't know anything about yoga. And he has never practiced. So we have to give some primary training, and which is mostly common for all diseases. Because the patient's muscular system, bone system is not trained for these movements of yoga. They are doing very particular work throughout the day. So we have to teach them these practices so that their bones and muscles and everything is prepared to practice for yoga, particularly the asanas. That is why preparatory practices are very essential. And the simplest practice is Shavasana. Because you have to start from simple to difficult. The simple is Shavasana. So always start with Shavasana. You can conduct initial prayer and all that, but before practicing any yogic technique, Shavasana is very essential. And everybody prefers Shavasana. So everybody will be very happy to experience the relaxation in Shavasana. So start your class teaching and practicing also with Shavasana at least for 3 minutes, not a shorter period. So that the patients will get comfortable, relaxation, they will feel much easy also. And their mind and body also will be ready for the further practices which you are going to teach. Then the basic moments from the Yoga Sopan book. These are very effective for these patients. It is a preparatory practice, but it is essential practice also. Because the different moments of different limbs and joints and all that. For example, hand movements, leg movements, knee movements, neck movements, shoulder movements, which are there in Yoga Sopan book. You might have learned all that. And of course, while teaching all these movements, step by step, that is your skill. You have to add Shavasana wherever is needed. Now, on all these practices and some asanas which I am going to explain now, these are to practice on level 1 in the beginning. As they practice, maybe for 2, 3, 4 times, then you can increase the timing of that asanas and then allow them to practice on level 2 and 3. This planning step by step is also your skill, because that will depend on the condition of the patient. So I cannot give you standard planning. You have to get the feedback from the patient every now and then, and depending on that, your teaching process will go on. So that you have to decide yourself according to the condition of the patient. Now for practicing level 2 and 3 means attaining the asal position with very, very slow speed, as usual. Then relax the muscles of the body as much as possible. This is very important. Because relaxation gives the proper effect of that particular asana on his body. Then maintain the asana position for some time, but as long as it is comfortable. This is also very important. If there is a strain, a pain, that will not give the proper result. So you must be always telling them that be comfortable, be comfortable. That's why I have not given any particular timing for those asanas. Because asana is to be maintained as long as it is comfortable. And regular practice will definitely, the patient can increase the time of maintenance of asanas, step by step. maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds, 15 seconds, 30 seconds, like that. And finally, release the asana position with very, very slow movements as usual. So this technique is to be followed. Asanas on level 1 in the beginning. After sufficient practice, then we can go for level 2 and then level 3. Now here is the list of asanas. Shavasana, of course, it will start with the Shavasana itself, as I explained already. Then Tadagasana, Vajrasana series from Yoga Sopan book. This is very, very effective composition of asanas. There are about 7 asanas in this series. And this you have to practice step by step, of course. Here I am not going to give you the series of asanas in a particular way. I am giving just the total list. And while teaching, you have to prepare the lessons as you might have prepared in this class. You have to prepare a lesson and accordingly you have to teach. That is, in this series of asanas, you can teach one asana every day. Go on adding one. Like that you can do it. That is depend on the condition of the patient and the time available. Then Pavan Muktasana, Ardha Chakrasana, Anantasana. These are all asanas given in the Yoga Sopan book. So this total program should continue for 10 days or 10 hours, 1 hour a day, like that. Of course, this is roundabout. For certain patients, it may extend to 15 days also. And for certain patients, you can finish it in 8 days also. So that is why you have to judge the condition of the patient and then plan accordingly. That is why it is very important. If the patient is normal, if the patient is not a normal person, then straightway we can go as per the timetable which is mentioned in the Yoga Sopan book in details. But for the patient, every patient has got different state. So conditioning the stage of every patient, you have to design this program of teaching and practicing. After these 10 days, tell me, after this program of Yoga Sopan, like when we can go for some asanas from Yoga Pravesh book. Because by the time the condition of patient has improved a lot. So you can do some asanas from Yoga Pravesh book also. Of course, I told you these patients are grade 1 and 2 only, not 3 and 4. Because for 3 and 4, we don't teach these Yoga Pravesh asanas at all. But grade 1 and 2, yes, we can. Because by that time, the patient can become mostly the normal person. So Bhujangasana, Shalabhasana, Dhanurasana, Ardhamatyendrasana, Tadagasana, Tiryak Tadasana, Virasana, Kati Chakrasana, Trikonasana, so many asanas are there. But please note, these are all backward bending asanas. Because for all these spine problems, forward bending asanas are not to be taught. This is a contraindication. Because the problem has developed because of forward bending position only. Because we see normally we may be sitting on the chair and writing on table with forward bending only. Or working anywhere, forward bending is there always. And that is why this problem has been created. So avoid forward bending asanas. This is very important. Backward bending asanas are good. But for in the beginning, even these backward bending asanas from Yoga Pravesh book also are not suitable. After some practice of this Yoga Sopan movements and all simple asanas, then one can go for these Yoga Pravesh asanas. From cleansing practices is not so much effective, but we can teach Kapalbhati particularly, because definitely it will improve the respiration system and provide more oxygen. So that is helpful. May not be directly but indirectly for the backache patient. And normally you have to teach us 5 rounds of 120 strokes per minute. So it is 5-minute Kapalbhati. But that again will vary from person to person. This is a target which I mentioned here. Teaching program will be very slow. First day you may teach 5-10 rounds. You go on increasing step by step and all that. That is for everywhere. But no other cleansing processes are effective for this backache problem. They can be practiced. They have got some advantages. But as a treatment for backache, those are not required. That's why I not mention those here. Then pranayamas is Anulom Vilom, deep breathing, 15 minutes. That is a basic pranayam, we can say. Anulom Vilom, without holding the breath. It trains your respiratory system, provides more oxygen, and that is useful definitely. Because whatever the problem is there, body has got defense mechanism. Body itself is trying to recover from that problem. That is why this particularly Anulom Vilom pranayam, providing more oxygen and developing the respiratory system, will help for the body for maintaining this condition. That is why it is useful. It is not directly useful for backache, but indirectly definitely is useful for backache. Then right nostril purak or inhalation, followed by Bhramari Rechak with both the nostrils. It's a very typical pranayam which even the people prefer. They like it. They feel it very interesting also, very effective also. Because Bhramari pranayam, the vibrations, definitely they will have got good result on the nervous system, and nervous system plays a very important role in the recovery of this problem. So these pranayamas are advisable. Om chanting is always useful for all the patients. Even in some serious condition also. If they can't chant Om, we ask them to listen Om. Because Om is a stimulating factor, particularly the nervous system and the mind, and which is also very essential for these patients. So it is recommended 15 to 30 minutes. It is not rigid. Patient can chant 10 minutes also. But we have got some limits. So I mentioned it's from 15 to 30 minutes is okay. At least once in a day. So it will recharge the total body, including nervous system and mind and all that. And patient will feel much better. So this is also an indirect effect on the backache. Not direct effect. In chakra meditation is useful because chakra is responsible for particular organs. Now here the organ is spine, but the location is in the neck or waist. So there are two different chakras. For the neck, this Vishuddhi chakra is there. You can remember the position of chakras. And for the waist, Swadhisthana chakra is there. So accordingly we can suggest the meditation. That means for cervical problem, meditation on the Vishuddhi chakra with the mantra Om Hum. And for lumbar problem, meditation on Swadhisthana chakra with the mantra Om Vam. And you know how to teach this meditation on particular chakra. Yoga Nidra. Yoga Nidra is best one. But again, indirect effect on backache. You know, Yoga Nidra is relaxation technique. It's psychotherapy. So if you design a Yoga Nidra for a particular patient with his own problem, specific design, that will be the best one. If you don't design it, you have got a standard Yoga Nidra for stress relief, because stress is there for every person. And patient definitely have got a stress with other complication also, plus his disease also. So stress is always there. And when the stress is relieved, all the organs in the body, they function normally. Many cases, stress also is a major cause for backache. Please note. So in all such conditions, Yoga Nidra is very, very useful. And it is suitable for any person, any patient. Even the heart patient admitted in the IC unit, still he can practice Yoga Nidra. Even the doctors also don't object. And he will develop his physical condition, mental condition, which will further improve the physical condition also. That is why Yoga Nidra is a must for every patient. In our therapy center, we recommend Yoga Nidra twice a day, because that much time is available for us. It can be practiced more than that also, but at least twice a day is very effective for every patient. That is why if you can design a specific Yoga Nidra for a specific patient, depending on his mental condition and the situation where he got this disease, that is more effective. But otherwise, standard Yoga Nidra for stress relief is definitely used for these patients. So that is also good, no problem. The Yoga Nidra, we can get them practice in our class at least once or twice with our observation. So they will know what to do and how to do. And then you can ask them, they can practice at home. So we need not spend the time of our class. Now the contraindications are very, very important in this case, because a single mistake in that can increase the disease of the patient. So first is all forward bending asanas, because forward bending is a main cause for this backache. So if you teach anything forward bending, that is definitely going to increase the pains and troubles and complications. So strictly you avoid all forward bending asanas and positions or whatever it is. And that is why Sarvangasana, Halasana, Shirshasana, all its variations is very, very troublesome for the patients. These asanas are good, they are very effective for a healthy person, but not for the backache. Then fast breathing, because that gives the overstrain. Because fast breathing means all muscles of this bones, they are overloaded. And they are loading, of course, the backbone also. That is why fast breathing is to be avoided. Left nostril breathing is also to be avoided, because it is stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. We want to stimulate the sympathetic nervous system. So right nostril breathing is good, that I already suggested. But avoid left nostril breathing. And Bhastrika pranayama is to be also avoided, because it includes fast breathing. That is why it is to be avoided. Then all pranayamas with kumbhak, these are also to be avoided. Because basically the person is not in a position to practice all this for a long period. He is going to get good relief with the asanas. So he is very happy. So he may not continue also. So we may not get sufficient time to teach kumbhak with all three bandhas and all that. And bandhas particularly, Jalandhar bandha for cervical problem is again forward bending. This is a contraindication. So in any way, it's better not to teach kumbhak with three bandhas and all that for these patients. Then Vaman Dhavti, Shanka Prakshalan, Lagu or Purna and all that is also troublesome, because the asanas are there. He has got a forward bending condition, and that is to be strictly avoided. So don't go for all these detailed and deep studies. Just primary study of asanas and one or two pranayamas, which I suggested, is best for them. And they get quite good relief. And of course, they are also not much interested to learn something more. When they get good relief, it's okay, they can continue the same practice. Of course, the grade 1 patients, when they recover from this backache, nothing is wrong with their bones. So they can go for all this. Even I can recommend they can come for yoga teacher training course also. They can become a teacher and teach others also. Grade 2, to some extent, some of them can become yoga teacher, some of them cannot. And grade 3 and 4, definitely nobody can learn about this syllabus. no yoga pravesh, no yoga parichaya, nothing. Because there is a permanent change in their bones, wear and tear is there, and that cannot be recovered. Surgery also. That is how we can treat. Food recommendation, actually direct food is not connected with this spine problem. But food particularly, mostly the food gives rise in our weight. And overweight is a problem for these diseases. Because at weight increases, the load on the muscles and bones is increased and the pain increases, wear and tear increases. So we must keep the weight under control. BMI must be 21 or less. And that is why we recommend food. Secondly, food is always responsible for the total health of the body and mind also, which is also definitely required for these patients. So food is not directly connected with their problem, backache, but indirect effect is definitely there. So definitely we suggest normal food recommendations are there. That normal food with less fat and carbohydrate to control the weight. But high fibers, that is are very essential for cleaning the intestines. So best food is fruits, vegetables, and recommended a low protein diet. Because excessive protein also can create the complication in the backache. So we recommend less protein. Normally there is a trend to take more and more proteins. Proteins are good, but excess proteins are not good. Then avoid non-vegetarian food, milk product. That is just for controlling the weight, that's all. Then rice, oily and spicy food, refined food, fast food, preserved food. Because they disturb the digestion. And when the digestion is disturbed, the whole health of the body is disturbed. And that is how we recommend them. Of course, they are free to take at their home. When the patient comes to our yoga center, stays there for 10 days, we completely control the food. And the patient experiences the good result of that good food within 10 days. And most of the patients continue after that at home also. That is why food recommendations are very, of course we can recommend, they have to think how to follow and all that. That is